So I'm Katie Reck. I own Pre-Op Solutions. So what I want to talk to you about today is just a general overview of our services and the impacts of pre-op care. So I personally come from 4 generations of healthcare workers. I don't think that I was even talked about other options than that. This has just always kind of been something that I knew I would do. So moving into the business space of it has actually been one of the coolest and most exciting things that I've done in this. I really enjoy helping people, and I'm excited to get to do it in my way with something that I think has been a glaring issue in healthcare. So in general, this is just a quick scenario. We'll use one person case study example. You are coming home with after a knee replacement. So what that means is your range of motion is impacted, your quad muscles are extremely weak, you may not have muscle innervation at this point from nerves that may have been damaged from surgery, you're in pain, swelling, which is also edema, many different things that you're dealing with, and you come home and you're like, I'm just so exhausted, I'm ready to go to bed. Except nobody told you that your bed height was too high, and without being able to pick up the weight of your leg, you can't put your leg in your bed. So you walk into the living room, and you're like, okay, I'll just go sit on the couch for a while and I'll get something to eat in a bit. Except your walker doesn't fit through your living room because the coffee table's in the way and you don't have anybody there to move it. You want to go cook in your kitchen, but you have a 2-handed device because you need help walking on your leg. So these are just a few very simple examples of things that people do on a daily basis. Trying to go to the bathroom, a standard toilet height is 14.5 inches to 16.5 inches. But the standard height of our legs from our foot to the back of our knee for an adult with the heights of 5'5" to 5'10" is 22 to 24 inches. So that means your knee has to bend at least 90 degrees to sit on a toilet seat. So these are things that we help people address ahead of time, and these are just such a small amount of those things. The same things apply if you've had a shoulder replacement, if you've had bypass surgery, if you've had a hysterectomy. So many of these things apply outside of orthopedics. We just also specialize in that.
Brad, you're about 26 inches.
I'll measure you later. I have a tape measure. So what do we do at Pre-Op Solutions? So we work to solve these problems. So we come out ahead of time for our clients. We address their home safety concerns. We address fall prevention. That's keeping things out of your pathways, that's adequate lighting, that's having well-used items in reach. That also falls under ergonomic adjustments. We do DME rentals for those pieces of equipment that people need that are helpful and honestly imperative in those times. We help coordinate care for you, so we make sure that your visits are set up with your doctor, that you are able to have transportation to and from appointments. Because remember, a lot of these things, you're not driving when you come home, but your doctor wants to see you within the first 2 weeks. So, and we also work on clinical education. So that looks like assisting you with setting up med schedules and med planning. That looks on pain and edema management, how to properly elevate, all of those kind of things, circulation. So our mission at Pre-Op Solutions is that we are committed to improving the quality of recovery for clients by increasing awareness to barriers of care through consultations and home evaluations, and providing solutions for optimal home rehabilitation. By increasing awareness and educating healthcare professionals and clients alike, Pre-Op Solutions will be reducing risk of improper equipment use, promoting fall prevention, and streamlining the preparation process for life-changing surgeries, procedures, and changes in conditions that allow our clients to thrive. And just a side note too, you would be surprised at how many people who work in offices or work with patients in inpatient settings who are just unaware of these struggles and challenges at home. These are people who are managing such an important part of their care that they don't also have the time to talk to you about what your bathroom looks like, but we do. So you don't have to just take our word for it. So in this recently, from December to January, we commissioned a survey with East Coast Research here in North Carolina. Our survey had 150 participants. They were both men and women, North Carolina residents. with an emphasis on Western North Carolina. Over half of those people had zip codes in Western North Carolina. They were all age 55 and up. They're having undergone a major surgery in the last 5 years. So what the major surgeries were, things like I listed earlier, like knee replacements, bypass. Each surgery was made to fall in those categories. So a carpal tunnel surgery was not considered a major surgery, whereas a tibial fracture repair is. So we focused on 3 main topics with this survey: preoperative care, post-op outcomes, and patient's experience. To define the preoperative care, it's providing them detailed information about their surgery before that. Individualized care plans that are based around the patient's own comorbidities or not, their own home settings, their own environment. It's a crucial phase in healthcare that we deal with the surgery, preparations, education around anesthesia, post-operative recovery care instructions, and we put specific attention on fall prevention, pain and medication management, and tools to ensure people are safe at home. So preoperative education empowers people to mentally prepare for pre-op instructions, engage in decision making, and contribute to their own positive experience around their recovery. So some of the greatest survey findings that we had, 95% of people in our survey experienced negative emotions ahead of that. So that's anxiety, fear, anger, concern, and nearly half of those experienced more than one. So a lot of those emotions were coupled together, which this was something that we expected. We did not expect that 58% of people reported that they had a negative outcome associated with their surgery. So negative outcomes are things like developing a blood clot, post-operative infection, increased wound healing time, increased recovery time in general, having to go back in for surgeries or repairs, suture issues, a myriad of different negative outcomes. So that was what we listed, and 58% of people identified at least one of those. One really cool thing that we did learn though is that 16% of people who had services that were ours or services like ours benefited from that, saying 96% of them said it was helpful, which was really nice to hear. And 70% of those people reported that they felt it reduced their recovery time, which was a really awesome surprise number that we got out of this. We weren't sure how much data we would really be able to capture because this was a completely blind survey around people that have been able to have access to services. But 70% of people, that's 70% people who were able to get back to what they want to do. That was 70% of people who got back to work sooner. That was 70% of people who got to move on with their life quicker. So important correlations, pre-op care meant less negative emotions. So that also meant pre-op care was improved preparation. 31% of people reported in their survey that they had no idea what they were in for, and these are direct quotes from people. And they also reported that they felt they had needed a recovery plan. So we're assuming those are the people that didn't use us. And then we also learned about pre-op care, how it improved their satisfaction. So 92% of people said that care coordination was really important to them. So that's the people before, the people in the middle, and the people after. It's like an all-encompassing experience. But 72% of those people reported they would have benefited from having one-on-one pre-op care. And it improved outcomes. So again, that 70% of people was a really important number for us. Oops. Okay. So some benefits we haven't addressed. We offer an ability to reduce the burden of cost on our clients. So what that looks like, there are only a fairly small list of medical equipment items that are actually covered by insurance. Things that, like big ones that aren't covered, a shower bench is not something that's covered by insurance. Grab bars are not covered by insurance. So you have to code a toilet topper a certain way. It can only be coded as a 3-in-1 or a bedside commode. It can't be coded as a toilet topper, or that's not covered. So what we do is we offer a rental service for those items instead, which of course is a much money-saving aspect, and that also gives our clients the ability to just produce less waste. You know, people don't need to, these are typically used for 2 weeks. On a standard knee replacement, you'll generally only need a shower seat for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks to spend $160 is not really worth it to me. 67% of people also reported that they needed multiple pieces of durable medical equipment in their recovery. So if you take the cost of a shower bench and a toilet topper and a grab bar and renting that from us, you've paid for our services twice. So why do we do this? We really believe that our clients deserve the best opportunity for a smooth post-op recovery. I personally have been working in home care for the last decade, and I started this because I watched people suffer. People came home and they didn't have what they needed. People came home and they fell because they were waiting for equipment to get delivered. People held off on having surgeries because they didn't have caregiver support to be able to help them. It's just, people deserve better. So this experience with Pre-Op Solutions has also given us opportunities to help in other places. So we also do aging in place assessments. Aging is not linear, so we need different things at different times. So we work with clients to help them identify what would be the most helpful and impactful changes to make to their homes, or if those changes are not possible, how to define a living situation that would be better for them. We partner with local contractors in the area to ensure that our clients have the best and most qualified hands to help them get what they need. The things that I would want in my home would look very different than the things that my grandparents want in their home. We also volunteer with the Area Agency on Aging and the Western North Carolina Falls Coalition. You'd be really surprised at the numbers of falls that people have in Western North Carolina. And we run a group for healthcare workers to network in a professional and social capacity, which is just a complete aside, but it's been really rewarding to do that. And how you can help us. So connect us with your doctors, with your orthopedics, with the people that you see and that you trust your care with, and let them know that these options are out there. Social media is always important, and being able to share those messages with people is unbelievably helpful, so connect with us on those. If you have friends that are considering orthopedic surgery, then please let them know about us. Or a lot of other surgeries end up being a little bit less planned than normal, but people are usually more comfortable talking about their new hip than they are other things. And Google reviews, those are things that are always really helpful. While you may not have used my services, you do get to use me often, so that may be helpful to you. And we are also, aside from these, looking for opportunities to share results of these surveys. It was honestly a lot of this survey commission, I had a pretty good idea of what it was going to say, but being able to speak to other clinicians, they speak in data. I can tell stories about why this helps people and it makes total sense, but when you're talking to the providers, or you're talking to the joint coordinators, or you're talking to the schedulers, they want numbers. So being able to share this information with others has been invaluable. So if you have other opportunities to share that with people, if you have friends that write for papers, if you have friends that are interested in learning more or connecting with me, then please send them to me directly. And that is the end of my presentation. So I have a couple of things, just a brochure and a business card on hand, but thank you very much. That was really fun.